So today we're gonna learn about mesh analysis. So here are the steps in doing the mesh analysis in circuit analysis techniques. So number one, we need to assign mesh currents on each loop clockwise direction. So the mesh currents in each loop should be uniform in clockwise direction. Then use KVL on each mesh to generate our equations that can be used to find what we need in the circuit, and make equations on each loop and make sure that all resistors are voltage drops, and the sign of battery depends on the polarity of the battery. Then solve the equations using matrix or algebra. So take note of these steps because it is very crucial to follow these steps later on. Let's try some examples. So here we have a 10 volt source and R1 which is 2 ohms, R2 which is 3 ohms, R3 which is 5 ohms, and R4 which is 1 ohm. So using the mesh analysis techniques, we need to first use step 1, which is assign mesh currents on each loop which the clockwise. So we call this mesh current I1 and mesh current I2. So after assigning mesh currents, we will use now KVL at each loop. So at loop 1, so here you see that the mesh current is entering the positive and going out to entering the negative and going out to the positive. So the value of the source here is positive. So we always take note that the sign of the battery is where the current goes out. So here the current goes here from negative to positive. So we will take the positive as the sign. So let's say 10 volts. Then make sure that the resistors are always voltage drop. So we know that V is equal to I R. So 2 times I1, but it should be drop, so negative 2 I1. Then same goes for the 3 ohm resistor, minus 3 I1. But the 3 ohm resistor is shared with the I2, and if we can see here, I1 goes this way and I2 goes the other way. So the value of R3 with respect to the I2 is positive because they are opposite to each other, plus 3 I2 is equal to 0. So this is our first equation, and we can simplify it further, which is 10 minus 5I1 plus 3I2 is equal to 0. Then we will focus now on the second loop. So here we don't have any sources and we just have resistors. So we can see that I2, so just remember that whatever loop you are whatever loop you are focusing on, the resistances are voltage drop in that loop. So before we are focusing on I1, so I R R3 times I1 is negative. But now we are focusing on I2. So now the 3 ohms times I2 is negative na. So it goes like this. 3 negative 3 I2 and I1 is the opposite. So which loop you focus on, it's always a voltage drop. So take note of that. Plus 3 I1 minus 5 I2 minus 1 I2 is equal to 0. Yeah, so let's simplify the equation further, which is 3 I1 minus 9 I2 is equal to 0. So now we can use either algebra or matrix to solve this problem. So for now we will use just algebra. So let's take the equation number 2. This is equation number 1, equation number 2. So let's take the equation number 2. 3I1 minus 9I2 is equal to 0. Let's move the I2 to the other side. 3I1 is equal to 9I2. Then let's divide both sides by 3 so that we have the value of I1. Then we will have I1 is equal to 9I2 over 3. So we have the value for I1. We can substitute that to the equation 1. So 10 minus 5 I1, which is 9 I2 over 3 plus 3 I2 is equal to 0. So let's simplify the equation. 10 minus 45 over 3 I2 plus 3 I2 is equal to 0. So let's add the same I2 values. Which is 45 over 3 or negative 45 over 3 plus 3. So we have negative 12. So 10 negative 12 I2 is equal to 0. So let's move I2 to the other side. 10 is equal to 12 I2. Then we can just divide both sides by 12. We will have 5 over 6. So I2 is equal to 5 over 6 or 0.8333 amps. And now that we have values for I2, we can now get I1. I1 is equal to 9 I2, which is 0.8333 divided by 3. I1 is now 0.8333 2.499, 2.4999, which is approximately equal to 2.5 amps. So now that we have the values for each current, we can now solve the voltages in each resistor here. So here in R1 times I1, so the voltage here is 2 VR1 is equal to 2 times 0.8333, which is 1.67 volts. So here in R2, VR2 is equal to, so we can see that they are shared resistor. So what we will do is we subtract the current. So let's see first which current is bigger, I1 or I2. So we can see that I2 is bigger. So we will subtract them to get what current is flowing to the 3 ohm resistor. So 2.499 minus 0.8333 is equal to 1.67. So the current that we will use in the 3 ohm resistor is 1.67 amp. So let's do that. 3 times 1.67. So the voltage in R2 is 5.01 volts. So we know that I1 is bigger, so we will follow the direction of I1. So the positive will be here and the negative will be here, and the voltage is 5.01 volts, and the voltage in R3, which is just 5 ohms times I2, 5 times I2, which is 0.833. Wait, in the voltage of R1 we use the I2, so that's my mistake. VR1 should be 2 times 2.4999. So VR1 should be 4.9998 volts, which is approximately equal to 5 volts. So and so the voltage in R3 is 5 times 0.833, which is 4.17. And here in the I1, which is VR4 is equal to 1 times 0.8333. So we solve for everything in this circuit. That is the basic use of mesh analysis. Let's do another example that has independent current source. So let's assign a mesh current in each loop. I1, I2, I3. So at loop 1, we have notice that I1 is going in the positive and out to the negative of the battery. So we will use the value of the battery as negative 1. And remember that in mesh analysis, whichever loop you focus on, the resistors in that loop is always voltage drop, always negative. So negative 2 I1 and negative 2 I1. And also notice that this 2 ohm resistor is shared with the I3. So it should be positive because I1 and I3 are reversed in direction. Opposite direction. When I1 goes from here, I3 goes from there. So positive 2 I3 is equal to 0. So let's simplify. Negative 1 minus 4 I1 plus 2 I3 is equal to 0. That's our first equation. Then at loop 2, we have, see here, this is the loop 2 and there is a independent current source of 1 amp. And also this current source is not connected between two loops, or the current source is not shared between two loops. So we can call the loop 2, the current in loop 2, which is I2, is equal to negative 1 amp. Because we see here, the current 1 amp is going from this direction. But the mesh current that we made, I2, is going to this direction. So the 1 amp will be negative in terms of I2. So we can just go straight for the loop 3. At loop 3, we have negative 2. So we're focusing on I3 na. So negative 2 I3 minus 2 I3, but the 2 ohm is shared with I2. So positive 2 I2 minus 3 I3. So also this 2 ohm resistor is shared with I1. So plus 2 I1 is equal to 0. So let's simplify the equation. We will have 2 plus 2 plus 3, which is 7, negative 7 I3 plus 2 I2 plus 2 I1 is equal to 0. This is equation 2, this is equation 3. And we see here in our equation 3 that there is an I2. And we know the value of I2 to be negative 1. So we can just plug in the value of I2 there. So negative 7 I3 plus 2 times negative 1 plus 2 I1 is equal to 0. So in this problem, we need to find the current flowing in this direction, which is small I. So I forget to put it earlier. So let's simplify the equation now. Negative 7 I3 negative 2 plus 2 I1 is equal to 0. So let's move the negative 2 to the other side, and also the negative 7 I3. Let's isolate the I1. 2 I1 is equal to 2 plus 7 I3, and divide both sides by 2. I1 is equal to 2 plus 7 I3 over 2. And we can use this I1 now to our equation number 1, which is negative 1 minus 4 I1. I1 is 2 plus 7 I3 over 2 plus 2 I3 is equal to 0. So let's simplify the equation. These 2 cancels, these 2 become 2, negative 1 minus 4 minus 2 times 7, 14 I3 plus 2 I3 is equal to 0. So let's combine like terms. Negative 5 minus 12 I3 is equal to 0. So let's transpose the negative 5 to the other side to isolate the I3. Negative 12 I3 is equal to 5, and divide both sides by negative 12. We will have I3 is equal to negative 5 over 12 amps. So now that we have I3, we can now solve for I1. I1 is equal to 2 plus 7 I3, which is negative 5 over 12, divided by 2. So I1 is equal to 2 plus 7 times negative 5 over 12 divided by 2. Negative 11 over 24. So we have values for each mesh currents. So we need to find I, small I here. So notice that we just need the value of I3 because I3 flows like this in this loop, I3, and the I is opposing the I3. I3 is going clockwise and the small I is going counterclockwise. So we just need to set the value of I3 to negative in order to have the value of I. I is equal to negative I3. So I will be now equal to negative 5/12, which is I will be equal to positive 5/12 amps. So this is our final answer.